My only regret, my whole marching band career was not joining marching band earlier. That's my only regret. Because it has changed my life, and I currently want to go on and do it in the future.
It may be the same things over and over again, but it's just enjoyable to let go of school and everything that's going on and just have fun.
Once you're a senior, like, you're gonna look back on your years and you're not gonna remember any mistakes that you might have made. You won't remember like a good show or a bad show you had, but you're gonna remember the people and the times that you had.
Definitely remember that when you sign up for this group, some people will jokingly say, like, when you sign up, you trade the next 5 months of your life away to Mr. Cox. It isn't to him, though. It's to every other member of this ensemble, and each of them are doing the same for you. At the end of the day, it isn't the staff's show. It's our show. We're the ones that are performing. We're the ones that have to be proud of what we do.
To me, Insomnia was more than like an external physical battle between the two teams. It seemed like an internal battle displayed through a physical show.
We had the Insomnia side, which I was a part of, with us and like the low brass and the rifle line on color guard. And we were kind of trying to wake up the sleeping side, which was most of the woodwinds and the flag line and the color guard.
I mean, this year it was kind of cool because we have the band sort of going up against each other. At like heart, we're like really unified, but like on the field, we're like fighting.
It really had something going for it that the others just didn't, in terms of the storyline and the music that we could put behind it. Like, the second I heard what the ballad was, I was on the floor, completely just in awe that we would get to conduct that.
My favorite musical moment was the ballad, in terms of the saxophones and the woodwinds were allowed to have a great visual where we did cool movements, and just the battle pods at the end of the ballad was fun to see people on the ground like shooting up to the press box and just blaring their instruments out.
It's such a powerful moment when we reach the lullaby in the closer at the halftime. Like, it wells up so much every single time. Like, I've never cried during a show, but like if I were to cry during a show, like that was the moment.
Home show, it was really fun. I don't even remember the performance. I just remember the practice beforehand. We were like out on the baseball field, like, super far away, and I remember it was like a really good practice.
I think also like even spending some time together like for a few hours before we performed was a good way for us to like get even closer and bond, and like we knew like we trusted each other going into the closer.
It was a really good last home show. I still have my flower.
I think I was just sad to see everything finally go.
Home show is such a magical time, and definitely my favorite competition that we have, because, you know, not only is it our stadium and it's our competition, but it's also our alumni who are so enthused to legitimately come back and just watch us put on the best show possible. And I think that drives everybody to have one of the best reps of the year.
But after it was all done, it was just like my mind going through a revelation, as in the home show came faster than it did last year, and this is the last one you'll ever do. And it was just like, eventually it hit me. And I was just going around shaking hands with people that I hadn't seen for a while, or hugging friends that I've been with the band for so long, and then eventually everything just let out and sobbed into Jake's shoulder, and then everything's done. Might as well just live for in the moment. Why be sad about it?
Because I've been doing this for so long, it feels like forever. Now it's just over.
So regionals was kind of a unique day. Typically when we go to Westchester is where we hold our state competition. And over the last 3 years, that's where I associate, we're nearing the end of the season, but really this year it was more the middle of the season. We're still putting stuff together, but our show is less developed than it would be.
Well, definitely during the competition, and also the practice for the competition, I felt like it was very productive. We all were working towards making that show great.
But that was the first time we kind of had the entire show for competition. It was kind of cool just because it felt good. It was a good run.
And I remember being on the field, running to my ladder, and then zoning out for the rest of the performance. Because once you have a really good rep, those are the reps you just don't remember anything of.
Just kind of walking off after the end of the closer just felt pretty good.
I felt great after that performance, so it was good. I felt great after pretty much all of the performances.
Those little minor setbacks that you have during a performance, you don't remember those at the end of the day. You don't remember, missing a step off. You don't remember missing a toss. You don't remember missing a note. It's insignificant at the end of the day.
The Central Bucks High School March.
At States, we were at Lincoln University. We were on their football field, and we decided to warm up on a basketball court right outside the stadium.
If you know of a court, your technique should be good because you're on a hard surface. It's not like you're mowing down through grass.
Our whole rehearsal that day was phenomenal. We had a great rehearsal. I think that was the cleanest we had been all year.
We, for percussion, had our best run during the warm-up run, our last run before we went on. And you could see Allie and Jack smiling. Everyone was just feeling good. We were locked in together in tempo and in dynamics and everything. And it just felt great. And at that point, that's when the show came together. We were struggling up until then. Once we hit that point, we started to fly again.
I'll probably never forget that because we're just playing through and we're just really happy and we're doing so well. And we never performed like that before.
Our hut before we went on really showed what our whole marching band season was about in terms of our confidence.
We had practiced the low brass visual, and it was still a little uncomfortable at that point, but by the end of that very short warm-up, we were ready for that visual to come up.
And then we stepped onto the field in the moments of time, and it was just unique to see a new stadium and all the fans cheering us, and then going on before North Penn.
States was incredible. I remember we marched on the field. The turf was a little different. The hashes were different, but we were ready.
The trumpet feature in the closer, that was pretty solid.
We played so well and we were really happy just about it. It was a really good time.
I was just really happy, so that energized me.
I said, ooh, ah, feels good.
It's always hard to remember Nats because if you have that great performance, it goes by and it's gone. Getting to go to an NFL stadium, getting to perform in front of such a huge crowd on such a large stage. But I think the best moment from Nats was probably getting off the buses for the first time and understanding that this was just a completely different experience from the last 2 years that we've had at Nats. It was very profound walking off that bus and getting into the stretch block and knowing that this was going to be my final year.
Like listening to how we sounded playing the opener in the lot was really awesome.
You know, everybody realizing this is what hundreds of thousands of hours were put into, were these few moments.
When we were in the tunnel, we started playing the Molstrel, and it was so loud and it was amazing. You could feel the drums like echo through your entire body.
The most emotional part is when you're standing in the tunnel waiting to go out and we're called to attention and you start walking out onto that field. And being a senior, that was the last time that I'd be doing that.
This year we came at a different entrance, and for some reason that just really got me. Like, as soon as you walked out, you saw everybody right in front of you watching, and there were the judges everywhere, and there were people scrambling off the fields, and it just felt like this larger than life moment.
When we were in the opening set and we were waiting for the announcer to ask, is the band ready? I was positioned so that I could see the Jumbotron, which was a pretty cool thing because for the past 3 seasons I haven't looked at the Jumbotron. So when I saw us in the moon shape and the brass standing on the other side, and it was a view I'd never seen before, I was like, wow, like, we're doing this, we're here, like, we're in this stadium. It was so cool.
I'm actually gonna have to say at Nats, when we were playing the ballad, and we got to like the huge impact at E, and then all I could hear was Connor screaming.
There was one specific part where Peyton and I just played something that was so together, and it was like just I didn't think he was playing, and like that made Nats for me.
When we hit the impact at H, we did the company front. That was a really good feeling.
Well, I do know one of my favorite moments is right after the horn's down at the end of the show, before everyone claps. That's like the best feeling in the world.
Like at nationals afterwards, like I just like looked at all the other seniors and like they were like starting to cry, and I was like, wow, like this is it, like this is done for me, like I'm done being a Titan.
Central Bucks High School South.
And I feel like we worked really hard to get us to a place where we felt comfortable and grounded. I think this is the first year that I walked into the season and like I knew what this band was.
The best feeling when you're marching in marching band is probably, as dumb as it sounds, the sickening feeling when you're first marching onto the field and you're just thinking like, what's this performance gonna be like? But you know, very deep down, that you are going to kill it.
This band this year is not only the best musical band that we've had, but the best like together band. Like we all pretty much know each other. And I didn't know any of the Wins my 9th grade year. It's so awesome to see how we interact with each other and we're a group of friends, not just a band that's angry at each other by the first week in November because we just want to leave. Like, I still wanted to be there.
But after that, when I saw how meaningful it was and how cool it was to put together a full show, I knew that it was a feeling that I wouldn't trade for anything.
It's worth it to join band, and it builds you as a person, whether it be making you more outgoing or helping you manage different activities in your life or just getting a solid friend group. Everyone who joins band is a good person, so you'll get that good family going into high school.
Every single practice, I fall back in love with band. And by the end of it, I want to keep doing like another rep or have another practice. And that's why I think it's really special.
If at any point the season gets hard, or just life for that matter, the worst thing you can possibly do is stop doing what you're doing. You have to keep pushing no matter what's in front of you.
You just kind of have to like, where do you want to see the band grow? Like, how do you want to make a difference to the band? Like, how do you want to help it grow? And I feel like definitely the seniors in this band this year have definitely made it grow and kind of like have shaped the future of this band in a way.
Your show is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be completely flawless. Nobody's ever going to have a 100% perfect run. Don't beat yourself up over the little things.
Because if you don't love what you're doing when you're here, it makes it miserable. Enjoy what you're doing here. It goes fast. Take in every moment.
The coming into school from 6 to 9 on Wednesday and Thursday and going to every football game together and going everywhere on the planet on Saturday is just, you spend so much time with the people and you get to experience it as one group.
I think there was just something about the marching band people, and that was what made me join in the first place after I came here my first day. I felt overwhelmed by how nice everybody was. It was just this amazing atmosphere that made me feel like people could be good people. It absolutely took me off guard how great everybody's band was. That was after one day, and they didn't stop.